Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new series, a new interview today, all the way. It's Australia and New Zealand. I've just forgotten now suddenly.
Sydney.
There we go.
Actually, a bit bigger than New Zealand.
Well, a little bit. Okay. All the way from there. I have the pleasure today to welcome Zahrina that we've just met only a couple of weeks ago, which was really cool. It's all this technology and networking is just amazing how you meet people from all over the world. And we can do things like that, like this little interview today. And Zahrina has got a really interesting job. And when we started talking, we thought it would be perfect to come on today. And actually, if you want to become a $10,000 plus keynote speaker, one of the things you need to think about it's what Zahrina do. So Zahrina, just tell us a little bit about who you are and actually what do you do? Because you've got two hats as well, haven't you? But let's just talk about what you do first.
Yes, well, I'm pretty passionate about building people's personal brands, and I've been doing
Right.
it for over 15 years. I
Very
had
cool.
a corporate background in Louis Vuitton, Moe Hennessy, in marketing and branding, and from that, and with my unique skill of photography, which my dad was a photographer, I have blended it all together to create processes and models for about personal branding that I teach people on and take people through a journey with me on it.
Hmm.
And that includes the speakers, the leaders, thought leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs to help build their personal brand to become a lot more visible and working to attract their ideal client. So my aim for what I love doing and I'm really passionate about is really helping people with their visibility really be enhanced 20-fold, but in doing it in the real proper way, like real professional and beautiful way.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you've got this passion, and so you're helping people to do that. And one of the things that when I started being a keynote speaker, I was told, yeah, you need to show off what you do. You need to have some videos, you need to have some content, and you need to be able, people need to see what you do and almost, well, they need to feel you, don't you? And we need to be able to show that on a camera. So that big thing that we all talk about, and that's, a show reel. So tell me a little bit, what's a show reel and why do we need to have one?
Well, the showreel is like the quintessential part of your speaker kit. It is the make or break, I believe,
Mhm.
of your career as a speaker. You can put something out there that will stop people from purchasing you, like, who are interested in you to book you, or you can put it out there and you get booked. So it's either going to make you or break you, right?
Right.
And the speaker showreel is such a vital part of your kit to get booked because it has so many elements and moving parts that need to be covered to help your decision maker go, yes, I'm going to hire them and then I'm going to pay them X amount. So it's really an interesting dichotomy of how you look like you're positioned in the market,
Right.
with the right visuals, the right audio, the right messaging, how you're turning up in your clothes and your styling, and how it's all edited together and curated. And I
Mm.
have been producing speaker showreel film days for like years now in Sydney, and I'm really good at it. I love it. I love it. They are big events, and I bring a live audience to my speakers, and it's just beautiful to watch my speakers go through a process with me about their branding and build their brand together, their speaker brand, help them, guide them, dress them, and and really curate them to go out there onto the stage to do what they do, which is their
Mm.
magic, and
Mm.
share their message. But that's it's bringing all the elements together to showcase you, the speaker, in the best way possible within 2.5 minutes or three or under.
Right. Right. I know this is it. That's a very short time, right?
A short time for your 20 years or 30 years or whatever, of experience, right?
Yes, and I think sometimes as well as speakers, I find the the shorter. So, you know, when we go like those 15 minutes TEDx kind of talks are the hardest really, because you've got so much that you want to share with people, so much content, so much love that you want to share. I mean, how do you do that in 2 minutes, and less than 2 minutes, and grab that attention? What are the things that speakers really need to think about if they're going to start thinking about, because it's a thought process, right? I know you would help, you help people, but I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of thinking behind it. How do you
There's a
want to
lot
get
of
this?
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
definitely
story,
define your message. You know, the
right?
speakers, you know, I'm a keynote speaker. And so my message has changed dramatically and evolved and dramatically and evolved. So we're all the same. We're always changing and evolving our message. And then you bring out a book, and then you've got to do more content and different messaging. And then so there's all these things as us, as we as keynote speakers, we bring out that need to be updated. So number one, define your message. What is it going to be for 6 months, a
Mm-hmm.
year, if you're going to match it up with your new book or your, you know, your new you. And definitely you want to make it concise. Your message is concise, making sure that in the keynote, in your keynote, that you've got key moments that are captured for what you want to be recorded, like curated, like really punchy moments, and design your keynote around making sure that you're covering those really amazing elements that you want to be seen and heard for post-production. So
Mm-hmm.
I help and coach my clients to do that and be that way. Yeah. And there's and making sure that your lighting on you is perfect. It's like the stage lighting is fantastic. And so when I direct my speakers on stage, when we're filming and videoing them in the room, what will happen is that I will see a hair on the face of a client. If I do see a hair on the face of the client on stage, I go, okay, stop filming, team. And then everyone just goes, okay, great. And I'll go and move the hair or something, and then we resume. So the power of having control over filming, control over photography of your
Mm-hmm.
brand as a speaker to produce the world's best speaker show reels, in which I do, is that it's all about knowing what's going to happen, knowing what's not going to happen, but knowing and you know, and just proofing the speaker to be the best that they can be. And
Mm-hmm.
so that means great lighting. You need to have great lighting. Be expressive. Show your body language and move your body, and not just be stagnant on stage. And then be, you know, animate yourself, and, you know, just be your authentic self and be bringing the audience into you. Wear
Mm-hmm.
different clothing, wear different outfits, making sure that you're looking like you're being, you know, you look like you're in, you know, and in London one moment, and then, you know, gosh, Dubai the next, you know, so, you know,
Right.
all these different places
Yeah.
to be speaking, you know, and
Yeah.
different outfits, and making sure your hair's different, makeup's different, slightly, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what I love doing. I love helping, making sure that speakers need to look unique. That why I'm doing what I'm doing, the Speaker Showreel Film Days, is the, oh my gosh, is because I knew there was a gap in the market, and
Mm-hmm.
then I saw from years ago anyway, and with working with speakers, is that they needed these assets, these visual assets, to help them get booked. And they were getting frustrated because I'm a speaker, that when I go to events and I'd speak, the venue A would not let you have the footage, or they would let you have the footage, and the footage was so bad, fuzzy, dark, it was unedited, it was just raw in all its sense. It was
Right.
bad. So it was below average, right? And so you couldn't use it. And you, as we as speakers, we go to great efforts to turn up, not only on time, but turn up and turn up
Yeah.
really well. Like, we want to
Sure.
put on a show, and we've got one chance to do it. It's that keynote, that 10 minutes or 1 hour, whatever we've got, that workshop, to get the audience engaged with us. Now, it's the same as the edit of the speaker show reel. You've got under 2 to 3 minutes to get someone engaged in you. So with the footage, and why I'm doing it is because we just couldn't, you just can't, sometimes you're just missing all these opportunities to get all this wonderful assets to you. So I developed the my wonderful SpeakerX event, that is a SpeakerX event within an event, so that it's like
All right.
I've got, you know, 6 speakers, they're on stage one, you know, and I help curate all of them. Yeah, it's
Oh,
beautiful,
very
beautiful
cool.
moment.
Very
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
But
that's amazing that you actually, well, the being, so the beauty of what you do is you actually come in with the team and actually taking the whole shots and actually correcting everything. How do you do that when you've got speakers from abroad, like me, for example?
yes, well,
You
I
coming
work
to
with a
Dubai?
lot. Well, I do. So I like travel, and then we also do global editing of speaker show reels as
Okay,
well. So I've done some top American US speakers, and
right.
they are like smashing it out. They've come to me, they've approached me, they said, oh no, I've seen this speaker show reel that you've done the edit for, and I've curated it so that it's storytelling, it's
Yeah.
it's vibrant, it's dynamic, and captures, and I look at your footage and look at what's really turning me on to book you. And because I've got a marketing and a branding background, I know what is good and what's not good. So
Mm.
I've got good taste. And when someone is curating and looking at you for the best of the best, you need somebody that's actually got the expertise for good taste, you
Yeah.
know?
What
Yeah.
it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You know
think
what? You
again,
just don't want to have shadows and things like that.
yeah, I think again it comes back to the whole package, right? And it was interesting what you said. My color is yellow, so I wear yellow when I'm on stage. And but like you said, I always will do something slightly different. So I was in India and I wore, a pachima, an Indian red scarf, and then I went to another event, and then they'd given the little hats on your head. So as a gift, and then so I put the hat on my head, for the my keynote, or wearing some of the necklace that the little gift that they're giving you. So they're little things that it's little details sometimes that make people think, you know what, that's really cool. They've taken the attention. They're bringing what we're doing with them on the presentations. It's important, those little details, right?
Definitely. And you're going to start with your reel with impact. Start with impact. Have quality footage. Have top quality footage. Now, I look at footage that is taken, say, 5 years ago is very different to the quality of footage that I'm seeing now. So
Mm.
you've got equipment, you've got technology to take into consideration. You've got really interesting effects that, will bring out the best in you or the worst in you. Like it depends on, for the editing, for what's going to happen in post-production. So it's really interesting. And then also making sure that you're getting very good quality testimonials. They're readable, and they're short and succinct, but also making sure that they're authentic. So having people say, great things about you is good, but it's got to be authentic to you as
Mm,
well.
mm. And so one of those things, so you are also a speaker. So that's the second part. You've got those two hats. Yes, you help speakers shine, in many possible ways, but you also are a speaker, a keynote speaker. So when you're wearing your second hat and when you're actually on the other side of the camera,
Yeah, which I love.
yeah. So you're teaching people, you're sharing your message. Is that all about personal brand as well? Or do you include the filming and all that kind of things, the whole overall more, is it a holistic approach to marketing really when you think about it? Your personal brand is what you bring all over the place. We all are personal brands really, aren't we?
Yes, and there's many. Well, look, yes, definitely, but we're all personal brands. Yes, and your name is your personal brand. Everything it is, and your track record on Google, all of this, it's all your personal brand. But a lot of us get busy, and then we've got these little potholes in the highway of life, and we miss things. And so sometimes that personal brand, we dip in. We've got to really help fill those potholes and fill them up with the goodness of us. So making sure you have a brand audit, which I do brand audits all the time, and I help speakers be the best that they can be. I look at all their visual assets and make sure that it's all correct or not, give them feedback. I love what I do because I can see it from an, eagle eye. And I love it because I'm so into detail. And that's what you need. You need somebody who's got a really sense of style, eagle eye, pick up things that you never saw. I did a brand audit the other day of a speaker with a group of other people as well, other speakers, and it was just amazing that what I picked up on their website, to social media, to speaker showreel, what was missing, what was going wrong, and they got so much value out of that they booked me to actually do a proper speaker showreel. So yeah,
Nice.
it's good.
Yeah, nice, nice. And that's what you want. I mean, in my past life, I was a mystery shopper. I was a
Oh,
mystery shopper for 12 years. So talk about, having that eye for details. It's always been, we couldn't go anywhere without kind of looking at things from one eye and the other.
classic.
Even my daughter became like that. When she was little, she had a little pad and she used to write things down on a little pad. So, it was funny. So, but yes, sometimes. So, but there's a difference, I think, also because I'm a big picture person, and I'm kind of a bit of red and a bit of yellow, in me. When you do the personality, and so I'm kind of. It's all good. Sometimes I put content in, and I'm French, so there may be a typo and there may be a little something in there which isn't quite right. And so because I forced myself, not forced, but I did deliberately, consciously putting content out there. And I know there's a lot of speakers which are really, they're waiting for everything to be perfect. They're waiting for everything to be, all their content to be there, this to be there before they start showing up. And so what would you recommend? How would you, recommend somebody to kind of start maybe coming out? Is that the right word to say it?
Yes, 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 shining out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, I would definitely look at your presence online. Definitely go LinkedIn. LinkedIn is good to be getting your presence profile correct. Put your speaker showreel up there, put some content up there, share some blogs, share some articles, take connections back to your website. People will go back to the website, your speaker website, to book you.
Yeah,
Make sure that in the keywords in LinkedIn, your keynote speaker.
right.
And write that, not, yeah. So you can't be the world's best kept secret, right? So it's about sharing what you know, and sharing also within the speaker showreel and your film. Share audience engagement, share stories of where you spoke last, or little lessons that you learned along the way about that last keynote you did, or the last workshop you presented. Share that with people. It might resonate with people, and it's going to help develop more content and things like that. But I think definitely look at how your how congruent your presence is online, making sure that your social media is up to date, put up photos and update them, and making sure that there's a bit of a compelling message that relates back to your website message, your speaker message, and keep it relevant. We can absolutely, as speakers, we can absolutely get distracted in the shiny things, and we can actually sometimes go wave along, and then wow, we've got to come back to home like a homing pigeon, right?
Right.
And yeah, so we've got to come back to basics, come back to home, roost, and sort it out. Look at what you're doing, what you're not doing, and making sure that it's actually really slick and authentic. But get make sure that the basics are really up to date. Yeah.
Mm.
And
So,
definitely you've got to have videos up there. Really have
yeah.
to have videos up there, no doubt. Your speaker show reel is your number one asset ever, like
Mm.
ever. The
Mm, mm,
photos as well. And that's what I do. I take photos at the same time as the video show reel. And it's just spectacular to be able to give them to my speakers and go, look at you. Look at you. And they look at and they go, oh my gosh, that was me. Is that me? Oh, yeah. And then it just ups the ante and ups the notch 20 times more, because
right.
finally you will feel as a speaker, oh my gosh, I have got all my assets now.
Right.
Finally got my visual, my like website assets, social media assets, all these visual assets that you need to share your message as a
Yeah.
speaker.
Yeah. And like you said, I think it takes a lot of time. And I do some speaker coaching since moving to Dubai. I've been doing a lot more on that side of things. But and I've created the journey, because obviously I talk about customer experience. So as a speaker, I had to create a journey mapping to actually show the steps that you have to do, the before, the during, and the after. And there's so many steps, and that's the thing that you kind of think, really, all that you're doing. And actually, the more you're able to map out those things, it's like you're mapping out that journey when you're creating a reel. What are all those steps that you're creating? And it's really an interesting exercise to do, because it makes you realize, it makes you think about it, and then it makes you make sure that you don't forget one of the steps, and it makes you even more professional than you ever been.
Oh, totally. Even a thank you video to the organizers. Hello, basic 101. But so most of us don't do it. So it's like, so it's really, really important. Yeah, it's very nice. It's to do.
Oh.
It's a nice way to finish things. It's lovely.
So, Zahrina, tell me three things that you think about that if you got a keynote speaker, and perhaps, in that kind of level, they're kind of 5K or under, and they want to push themselves and really elevate their brand. What are the three things they really need to think about when they think about their, let's say, let's make it bigger than just the reel, but as their personal brand? What would you say, what would you say the three biggest things would be?
Work out what's your message, who's the niche,
Yeah.
then execute on finding it, like where are they, to go and connect with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, it's because if you can go and meet them, see them, or connect with them, then you're going to have a clear message to do that with. You found your niche, and then you can then start sharing your speaker showreel with them. You can start sharing who you are with them.
Okay, fabulous. Well, thank you so much. That's just fabulous. Do you have a little story you can share with us, just to end, something that you've done for one of your clients, or something that went really wrong and then you turn it round? Or do you have like a little
I'll tell you
story?
about a client. I did all his branding for. His name is Christian, and I was doing a Zoom call with him, and he hired me to do his speaker showreel for the film day, right? And it was a delight. And then I was doing I was doing all his branding and breaking it down and giving him ideas and everything like that, and then to recreate his brand for stage.
Right.
I was looking at him, and I was like, looking in his background of his office and things like that. And there I saw in the back of his office was this samurai sword. And I was like, because he totally did not know his brand. He was coming to me from corporate, like he was working with corporate as a coach. And he said, I need help with my brand. I just helped him 300%. I was like, what's that sword? He said, it's a samurai sword. I said, and I started digging into him about it, like really delving in like a dog through a bone. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, tell me more about this. And then all of a sudden, I started creating his brand out of this theme of the Japanese and the samurai sword. I created all his messaging, and he's never looked back. And his speaker showreel is amazing. And so he's thanked me for it on my website. You can see it on the on the testimonial page. But even speakers sometimes lose who am I? What do I got to do? What do I got to share? How do I need to turn up? What do I need to wear? I do all that for speakers. It is so simple for me, because why? Because I dig deep into my intuition. I'm very, very high intuitive. And because I'm so intuitive and very fast with it, I do brand expressing with people and helping them with their brands, and do brand in a day.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. If people wants to connect with you, so are you on LinkedIn? Yes, you obviously.
Here's Zahrina Robertson.
Yeah. What's your best place? And where people find you? Yes. Okay. LinkedIn. Well.
Yeah, LinkedIn or my website. They can come and make an appointment with me, Zahrina, Zahrina photography.com. And then you can also see the Ultimate Speaker Showreel Film Day in the services. You can read about it. But we also do global editing, which has been amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for being with us and sharing all those stories and all those tips as well. It's so important. So think about it. It's not just about
Pleasure.
one, shoot. It's about the whole brand that you're creating, and your personality. Bring it all in together. And I love you use that word congruent. I love that word as well. Be congruent, share what you do and do it as you love doing. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me. Bye.